The following brief video is not a complete demonstration, but rather a compressed explanation of the important points that differentiate the Envirotect cyclonic action and multi-level filtration system from vacuum cleaners in general. This page explains the difference between the two systems. This top section explains how regular vacuum cleaners work. There are basically three types of unit on the market today: the ball type, the bullet type, and the upright. All work on the same principle: intake, bag, exhaust. The air and the dust enters the intake, the dust gathers in the bag, and the air goes through the bag and comes out the back. The bags are usually made of paper or cloth. Both are porous as to allow the air to pass through. When the bag is new, there is good suction because the air can pass freely through the pores. All particles smaller than the pores will pass directly through and return to the room. Within a few minutes, a thin layer of dust forms in the bag, closing the pores, reducing the airflow, and therefore reducing the suction. These units lose from 50 to 70% of their suction power and continue to reject 15 to 30% of the dust. Below is how the Envirotect filtration system resolves the loss of suction and dust rejection problems. Most important is the fact that there is no bag, but rather a filtration cone called a dust zero filter. This filter will retain the larger particles. Once the air has made its way through the first cone, there is a second cone called the perfect filter, which will retain the smaller particles. Once the air has made its way through the second cone, it will pass through a third filter of activated charcoal, which will remove any odors, and only filtered air can return to the room. The filtration system is placed in the center of the unit, and as the air enters it, it hits a deflector which will give it a precise direction. Since the unit is round, it will develop a cyclonic action which will actually separate the dust from the air. The air then makes its way through the filtration system to return to the room completely filtered. This patented system is what makes the unit a revolutionary air purification system and not a conventional vacuum cleaner. After this explanation, we ask our customers which of the two systems they would rather use in their home. They always choose the Envirotect system. Let's take a look inside now. First, let's look at the deflector. The deflector will cause the air to spin inside the canister and create cyclonic action, or sometimes called centrifugal force, pushing dust to the sides and allowing the air to go up through the filtration system. Now we'll put in the filters. First, the dust zero filter. As you can see, it's cone-shaped and sits inside the unit. Then the perfect filter, also cone-shaped, and sits inside the first filter. And finally, the gas zero filter, which sits inside the plastic cone. We can now close the unit and it is ready to operate. The final filtration is the superior filter, which will eliminate the carbon particles from the brushes in the electric motor. As per the test results you have received, the Envirotect filtration system eliminates 99.9% of particles as small as 0.1 micron. The first test is the newspaper test. This test is to demonstrate cyclonic action and to prove that there is no loss of suction in the unit. As you know, newspaper is a non-porous material and air cannot go through it. She is particularly hungry today. One more sheet for dessert. And there we go. To complete the test, we will now pick up 2 metal bearings. And we'll also put the machine in the air so the bearings have to go against the force of gravity. Warago Cyvac Turbo. After completing the test, I assure you that you will have the customer's complete attention. Now we'll open the unit and see the newspaper inside. There it is. As we turn it upside down, see, very little comes out because everything is compressed with centrifugal force. Now if we shake it out, you can see how much it'll hold. And there it is.